Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2019 mid-month general readings. So we're looking at the last half of November. This reading is for the fire sign of Aries, our Rams. Aries for the last half of November. Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising, Aries Venus, or if you are cross-watching for Aries. But watch your other video signs if you know them and if you can, because that always can add some additional clarification to whatever it is going on in your life right now. Welcome to everyone here. Welcome first-timers, and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thanks as always for all of your support, feedback, comments, likes, shares, and subscribes. Always welcome and always appreciated. I am coming to you once again from my bare walls here in Poland, although I will be posting these later today or tomorrow morning and then flying back to the States tomorrow afternoon, where I will be for, I don't know, a little while maybe. So you will see me back in California next time you see me. Sorry, I was just getting messages already for Aries. Something about being stubborn, I think. Right, so check your rising sign, moon sign, Venus signs if you want. I think I already said that, so that kind of covers that. I got a little distracted by a message coming in. So as always, if any of you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details. You can also email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. That link is also provided as well. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes more. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules and mine to get you readings in as timely a fashion as possible. And I offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life. So if you're interested, send me an email. We will go from there. I'd be delighted to work with you. Okay, Aries, let's get right into this. I'm already getting messages, or a message specifically about someone being stubborn. I don't know if it's you or someone close to you. Okay. I am using the Gilded Tarot by artist Cyril Marchetti, which is a deck I often use for general readings. All right, Aries, we begin with Justice, followed by the Three of Wands. We have the Nine of Wands, followed by the Six of Pentacles. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and focus is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is for the last half of November for many of you. I mean, that's why we always advise you to watch your other signs, because general readings, there's many of you watching, they're always going to resonate a little differently. So for many of you, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is your general energy focus, where your kind of attention is, overall energy, advice sometimes. In the upright position, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment, really loving who you are, enjoying yourself, your life. You've worked hard to get to where you are. You're able to take very good care of yourself without any help from anybody else. If you want to be with somebody else, you will, but you'll be kind of picky because you don't feel the need to be with anybody else or seek help out of some compulsory need. You're fine in your own space and in your own life and routine, and really just kind of enjoying yourself. Sometimes you can be single in this card, and sometimes not. But it's a card about really knowing who you are, loving where you're at, who you are, how hard you've worked to get there, being very independent and self-sufficient. But your overall energy is the reverse of that. It's in the reverse. So I mean, one could read this as you're having lost your independence, but I don't feel that's it. I feel, especially based on seeing these other cards, that there's a question about this independence or self-sufficiency. And I feel like it may have to do, and I've been feeling this kind of a bit of a running thread in the Aries readings off and on for a few months. Aries is a fire sign, of course, your lovely fire sign. Can be sometimes a bit on the stubborn side. Prone to moving on rather quickly sometimes. And very independent and not liking to be too corralled into things. So sometimes I think some Aries may have some challenges in personal relationships and long-term really deep commitments because you know, perhaps you get bored somewhat easily. I'm not trying to blanket everything. Every zodiac sign has its general characteristics, right? So the Nine of Pentacles in the upright would be quite understandable textbook energy for the Aries, but it looks like I think it's in question, and I feel like this has been kind of a thing with you off and on for some time now. It may be within personal relationships or a specific personal relationships, or just your basic ideology about I don't need anybody else, I don't need to reach out to anybody else, I don't need to make certain commitments, I don't want to, based on perhaps maybe the way you grew up, or you know, any one of a number of factors that kind of form us as we're maturing, that kind of set the stage for us in adult life. So I feel like the Nine of Pentacles in reverse for you, Aries, is overall energy for the last half of November. Is about this perhaps being in question or being in doubt, and perhaps some of the aspects, not that you want to become a codependent person, but perhaps some aspects of what you believed was right for you before that went along with this Nine of Pentacles lifestyle and ideology may not be the case anymore. Or it may be time, perhaps you're being in doubt about some of this. Maybe it's time to give a little bit on some of this. We have Justice and the Three of Wands. So Justice is the reap what you sow card. And it's next to the Nine of Wands, which represents really going through a difficult, discouraging time and wondering if you can get through something, or you know, give up on something, but needing to push through because you're at a 9, and 10s represent completion, but feeling maybe in the last half of November like things are just so hard to get through. And right next to Justice, Justice is the reap what you sow card. What you put into something is directly reflected in the outcome. So the cautionary advice for Justice is to operate with the highest level of honor and integrity and what we feel is right as possible, regardless of what our emotions or our fears might tell us. I feel like you may have I'm just getting kind of a mismatch of messages coming in. Because the Nine of Pentacles is in the reverse, something has prompted that to be in the reverse. Something has happened which is causing you to kind of go, you know, maybe I should start looking at adjusting some aspects of my life, or perhaps letting go of some of the reasons why I hold on so fiercely, maybe too much so, to some aspects of this sort of independence. Maybe it's actually in a position, maybe I'm in a position where this is no longer working for me anymore, at least some aspects of it. Because Justice is clarified by the Three of Wands, which is waiting for your ships to come in, seeing small manifestations of something, but waiting for the bigger return, waiting for, you know, waiting on the shore to see what the ship is going to be bringing in, if in fact it is. You could also, one might also talk about watching a ship sail away too. And I wonder if that's what's prompted this questioning yourself, because okay, let me keep going. We have the Nine of Wands clarified by the Six of Pentacles. The Nine of Wands is about feeling like you're kind of never going to get through something, or never going to get over something, or that it's just always going to be the same thing over and over again, although you're so much closer than you think to having a certain cycle come to an end, which 10s represent. You're at the 9 here. So this is always about pushing through one last hurdle. It's the 11th hour. The Six of Pentacles is somewhat similar to Justice in that it is although it's a minor card, a pip card, versus Justice, which is Major Arcana, but the flavor is somewhat similar. Justice is the reap what you sow card. Six of Pentacles is the tit for tat card as well. It's about mutuality, mutual beneficence, equal giving, equal receiving. Sometimes it can represent being on the giving end, sometimes it can represent being on the receiving end, but there always needs to be, it's about having a balance in giving and receiving. If this is in regards to a personal romantic love relationship, perhaps there's been a recent separation or somebody made the decision to leave, to walk away because you wouldn't go any further with them, and it has impacted you. And because this is a distinct story I'm getting for some of you, and even though you're stubbornly holding fast to this sense of independence, I think some of the ways you're holding on to it and some of the ideology that's carried you through for some time is no longer effective for you, even though it may have been a long time ago, and in fact is harming you. It may end up costing you a relationship because it feels like there's an imbalance of effort and consideration in how you feel a relationship should be sustained and contributed to versus many other people. Please don't shoot the messenger. That's just kind of what I'm getting for some of you. And I feel like you're actually in a position where you're actually thinking about this. But I feel this tremendous stubbornness. This is what I got when I was struggling, that perhaps there's a part of you that wants to let go, but there's also a bigger part of you that's holding on to this way you have of operating because it's what makes you feel safe, which means that it's something perhaps born out of some fears from things that have maybe happened in your past. Because Pentacles is governed by the element of earth, and in the tarot, Pentacles is about the physical structure of our life and the things in that physical structure that make us feel solid, stable, safe. Money, finances, property, home, job, assets, concrete, tangible things. It's about the things that make us feel safe. And in a sense, independence and not actually committing to too much is seen sometimes as a way of keeping yourself safe, because you don't have to worry about anybody else, you don't have to consider anybody else, and so you don't have nothing to fear from anybody else because you don't have those connections or those particularly deep commitments. It's understandable. It's probably based on something in your history. But I think it's costing you here. I think some aspects of this are no longer valid for you, and in fact are going to cost you something dear to you. And I feel like you're actually seeing some of this, but then there's this tremendous fear about letting go. And letting go of some of what makes you feel safe and some of that pride in order to reach out and go, you know, let me try to do this. Maybe it's time for me to start doing this a little bit differently. This feels very specific. It may not resonate for everybody watching. I feel like because of these Justice and the Six of Pentacles, which are basically kind of, look, you're getting back now what you have invested in whatever this situation or relationship was. So if you're not getting anything back now, you need to take a look at what you were investing. It looks like there is perhaps an imbalance in consideration and effort in this relationship or situation, and you're now reaping that. I hope this isn't coming across as too patronizing, but that's what it's a specific message I'm getting, so somebody out there needs to hear it. Let's see what this Nine of Wands or this resistance is about that I'm feeling. Because the Nine of Pentacles also represents that this exists and there is a battle going on inside of you about it. For some of you, this might be, you know, another person that you're experiencing this from. Actually, because, you know, the whys may resonate a little differently, let's just See what Spirit has to say about this. The Four of Pentacles is a message from Spirit about this. So the Four of Pentacles, can be sometimes interpreted as stubbornness too. And here we have Pentacles again. You know, this is the suit that speaks about the things that make us feel safe, solid, reliable. The Four of Pentacles is sometimes called the Miser card because it's a card about holding on fiercely and tightly to what makes us feel safe and not being willing to let go or relax because we might lose what makes us feel solid, safe, and secure. I mean, independence and self-sufficiency is a beautiful thing, and a certain amount of it is needed for us to be healthy, well-rounded people and not unhealthily codependent people. But I think, Aries, some of you may be carrying it too far, and in fact, it may be costing you an important and valuable relationship or situation in your life. And the implication is that you need to let those guards down a bit, let go a bit, share, open up a bit. Had two jumpers here. Judgment and the Two of Wands. Judgment is a divinely guided and timed, orchestrated opportunity, sometimes called a second chance card because it can represent a second chance and a last chance at something. This is a card of being held accountable for yourself, but it can also be a card of reconciliations and a second chance at something. Your choice of what you do with this could change the course of your life, whether you say yes or whether you say no, for good or for not so good. If it is a second chance, it is one that will likely not come around again. And what is it about? It's about choosing a different path, choosing a different way. I'm going to pull one final card, Aries. One final advice card from Spirit. What should Aries do, for those of you for whom this is resonating? What should Aries do? How should Aries best navigate through this energy for the last half of November? Eight of Wands. Pretty clear. This is an action card. This is an action card. This is a card about movement, travel, communication. This is a card, whatever this is about, whoever this is about, Aries, because it's a general reading, the details are going to vary. Whatever this situation, relationship is about, your advice from Spirit is to act, to move. Literally, physically, travel if you have to get to get to another person or to get to whatever this situation is, and communicate, do something different, choose a different way of being so that you can have different results. When we choose a different way of behaving, we have different results because we're choosing something different. It's some sort of like the law of karma, the law of spiritual gravity. The Eight of Wands is a card of movement, forward movement, fast movement, powerful, assertive movement, travel, moving, communication. It's a card for you to act. I feel like you have an opportunity, a window of opportunity. I don't think it's a big window. I don't think it's going to be open for very long. I think Spirit is bringing it to you. I think it's one you've had before and said no to. I think if you don't say yes to this now, I don't think this is going to come back around again with this particular situation or person. So we live in a free will zone. It's your choice as to what you want to do. But Spirit, I think, has made it very clear. Sometimes we have to step off the beaten path in order to arrive at a different destination than the path we've been walking on before. So Aries, I hope you, I don't know if you've enjoyed this or not, but I hope you found it helpful and useful and that it gave you some food for thought at least. That is your reading for the last half of November 2019. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December, gosh, another year gone by, the December 2019 general readings. Again, if this reading resonated for you and you'd like to reach out for a more personal one-on-one reading, just click on the description link below and email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be very happy to work with you. I'll see you all again in a couple of weeks, and from a California background instead of an Eastern Europe one. And in the meantime, I wish you much joy, love, peace, and strength during this time. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving for those of you for whom it's relevant too. And I hope to see you back here again quite soon. Take care. Bye-bye.